Gary Carey back at Wrigley Field. Beautiful day out in the bleachers.
Welcome back, Robert.
Beautiful day everywhere. Let's pause quickly for station identification.
Activate your sports station in the Quad City. WQAD-TV, Moline.
Bunt down the third base line foul. Pete Rose on deck. Pete lined a single to left center his first time at bat. He's moved to within 1 of Ty Cobb's record and within 2 of establishing his own. And it may happen here at Wrigley Field today. And there's a capacity crowd on hand in the event it does happen. And 1 the count. Cubs leading 3-0. Ball game in the top of the third. The pitch a little bit high. That evens it up. Milner hitting .257. Rolled out his first time. 3 out of 10 in the series, including his first home run of the year. There's a line shot past Dunston. It went off his glove in his short left field. Milner. Here's Pete Rose. Once again, they give him a standing ovation. Everybody's on their feet. Milner is credited with a base hit too hot for Dunston to handle. Years old, about to break a record that everybody admitted could never be broken. But then they never thought about Pete Rose. First pitch a little bit low, curveball. Now Patterson throws this knuckle curve along with a good fastball. Listen to the Chicago crowd. Pete. There goes the runner. Strike call to Peg in the left center field. A stolen base in an air. Here is Milner going to hold at third. With nobody out, Billy DeMars played it safe. Looked like he could have scored.
Looks like the ball hits off the leg of somebody down there, maybe Milner. It does. It hits right off the spike of Eddie Milner. He kicks it in the left center field. With nobody out, they decide not to send him, but he might have been able to score on this ball. Bobby Dernier making a very good throw to Jody Davis.
There's a big banner in center field. Welcome from Cincy. There it is. So Cincinnati fans have come into Chicago. Also, to see Pete Rose do what inevitably he's going to do, whether it be here or whether it be in Cincinnati. They play at home tomorrow night. Gravecki, a left-hander, scheduled a pitch for San Diego. So maybe Pete would just soon get it over with right here. The next hit he gets ties Ty Cobb's record. Now the pitch. And it's a knuckle curve high and outside. 2 balls and a strike.
It's pretty exciting.
You know, this crowd wants the Cubs to win, but they came to see Pete break the record. Ground ball, but it's right to Sandberg. He's got it over to first. The run is in. Pete Rose is thrown out by Sandberg, but he drives in his 42nd run of the year. And the Cubs' lead now has been cut to 2. 3-1. Here's Dave Parker.
Pete gets the job done. The Cubs are conceding the run. They're playing back. And Rhodes grounds it right to Sandberg.
Sandberg had him played perfectly over near second base. Here now is Parker, who's had 7 hits and 10 times at bat in this series. He swings at that knuckle curve and he misses it. The Bears have moved to within 4 points of Tampa Bay. Now the pitch, here it is. There's a smash right to Sandberg. 1 hop, he's got it. Over to first, 2 gone. Here's Nick Kosaski. Cubs are leading 3-1. California at Baltimore, no score in the third. Minnesota at Toronto, the Blue Jays lead 2-0. Now Minnesota just came up with 2 to tie it. Here's a pitch of Saski. Swings and misses. George Brett is hit number 24. And Kansas City leads Milwaukee 1-0. Here's a curve a little bit outside. A ball and a strike. The Yankee game has been delayed by rain. Now the pitch, here it is. A little bit outside, ball 2. Nick Kosaski at the plate. A run is in, driven in by Pete Rose on an infield out. There's a high pop fly, short left field. Gary Matthews is there to retire this round. 1 run, 1 hit. 1 error, nobody left. We move into the bottom of the third. Cubs leading 3-1.
Top of the order, and Eddie Milner to face Reggie Patterson. Milner's 1 for 2. Looks at one off the outside corner. The St. Louis Cardinals in baseball over Atlanta, 2-1 after 5. Slice down the third baseline. Sean Dunston giving it the run. He makes a great catch right in front of Gary Matthews.
Watch Dunston go out there and see just about even with the bullpen mound. He chased out there after that one. Tremendous play by Dunston.
Rose 1 for 2. Looks at one over the outside corner, strike 1. Pete Rose has gotten a standing ovation every time he's come to bat in Chicago. Drove in a run in the third inning. 0-2.
The fans are on Dave Pallone for making that call.
One bounces in front of home plate. 1-2. Rose might have an opportunity to bat 2 more times, depending on the offense of Cincinnati.
In this situation, you don't know who's more nervous, Reggie Patterson or Pete Rose. Rose is loving it. Patterson, trying to make the perfect pitch, has thrown 2 into the dirt.
He's having a hard time getting it 60 feet. 3-2. The fans groaning on every pitch. Rose laughing, enjoying this. What an afternoon here at Wrigley Field. He'll have 1 or maybe 2 more shots at breaking it. Folks, It's pandemonium here at Wrigley Field, an unbelievable moment. It just sends chills up your spine to know that he's got a shot to break it right here. And you can see Pete Rose saying the crowd to Leon Durham. What a appreciative bunch.
Well, the scoreboard tells the story. They have Cobb up there, 4,191. Rose up there, 4,191. And you wonder when he got that first hit off Bob Friend in April of 1963, on the 13th of April when he tripled off Friend, you wonder if it ever occurred to Rose at that point that he would come to this.
Nothing cheap about either hit today. A line drive to left, a line drive to right, and Dave Parker silences the crowd by coming to bat. Parker's 1 for 2. Tommy Helms, a longtime pal, teammate, giving him a big hand at first base, as is Leon Durham. 2-0. Reggie Patterson might have a chance of putting his name into the record books if he's around long enough to face him 1 or 2 more times. Ball 3. Somehow the outcome of this game has been just a little bit overshadowed.
That's another challenge that Patterson faces here. Not losing his concentration, coming back and working on Parker here.
3-1, and that's the ball. Davy Concepcion holding the tying baseball. He walked him. First and second with 1 out. You've got to wonder about the stamina of Patterson. He threw 2 innings the first game of this series. Yesterday, he was up in the bullpen warming up to come into the game. He didn't, and now he got the start today. If you're joining us late, the reason why Reggie Patterson is starting and Pete Rose is playing is that Steve Trout fell off a bicycle, injuring his left hand and shoulder. Couldn't start today. Nick Osaski, 0 for 2, struck out and flied out. Foul back, good cut.
And here's a guy that Patterson must be very careful with, because if the stamina comes into play here, Patterson hangs a breaking ball. Osaski has the power to hit it out.
Larry Sorensen going down to the bullpen. Cubs lead 5-1, but the Reds are threatening. Nice stop by Jody Davis. 1-1. Sorensen starting to get loose. There's a look at the man of the hour.
Larry Sorensen beginning to
Pete Rose.
Sorensen.
Pete has said that his secret is no wasted at bats. If he's 3 for 3, he goes up the 4th time just like it's a new challenge and tries to go 4 for 4. 2-1. He keeps his intensity, he keeps his concentration, and he's been doing that for 20 some odd years. Billy Connors coming out to have a word with Reggie Patterson. This is to give some time to Larry Sorensen to get loose. We're going to take a look at the record-tying hit. Line drive. Right field. He hit it right on the nose. Keith Moreland looked like he was tempted to just keep that baseball and put it in his own locker, but eventually he had to give it up. Ground ball. Dunston over to second. 1, back to first. No double play. Nice effort by Dunston. Good relay by Sandberg. But the ball was in the hole and they couldn't turn 2.
Tell you, Sandberg had a train coming in at second base there. We'll take another look as Dunston makes a nice pickup on this ball. Fires it to Sandberg. And Sandberg holding his ground with Parker coming in.
That's a good trick. 6'5", 250 pounds. He can make you weak in the knees. Buddy Bell 0 for 2. Looks at one off the outside corner for a ball. He flied out to left, struck out looking. Bell's average below 200, and for him, that's a unique experience. Runners at the corners, 2 outs. Cubs up by 4. Fastball misses. 2-0. Ball 3. Dave Concepcion on deck.
Of course, Patterson would love to be able to finish this inning with this 5-1 lead.
Good fastball right down the middle. 3-1, and now he's got to be careful. Even though Buddy Bell is struggling, he knows he has a relatively young pitcher on the mound who might want to throw a fastball. Let's see what he does. Long drive, left field. You can forget it. It's gone. 3-run homer, 5-4 ball game. Buddy Bell hits homer number 3. And there it is, across the street.
Well, that's the 3rd home run for Bell, and the 13th home run the Reds have hit off Cubs pitching this year. And he was ready for that 3-1 pitch on the inside part of the plate. Bell is strong, and he yanked it out of here.
Bell guessed right, and the lead is cut to 1. Davey Concepcion 1 for 2. Looks at a fastball down the middle. Bears leading 38-28 midway through the 4th quarter. One and one. Ball 2. Patterson starting to struggle. Stamina deserting him on a very hot, muggy day in Chicago. Dave Van Gorder on deck. Sliced foul. 2-2 with 2 outs.
Well, he was doing it earlier with that changeup curve and turning the ball over. He's not going to consistently do it with the fastball, even when he's strong. But when he fell behind 3-1, he came in with a fastball to Bell, and Bell turned it on him.
Popped up. Sean Dunston calling for it. Drifts back and makes the catch. What a good inning for the Reds. They get 3 runs on 2 hits. They don't leave anyone, and at the end of 4 1/2, the Cubs are on top, 5-4.
With Steve Stone, Harry Carey back in Wrigley Field. The crowd is on its feet. Pete Rose is leading it off. The next hit he gets breaks the record. He is already tied out. Listen to the crowd. Larry Sorensen will be pitching to him. Nobody on and nobody out. The pitch. Fastball is high, ball 1. 1 ball, no strikes. Each man, Cobb had 4,191. So does Rose. Here it is. High, ball 2. 2 balls, no strikes. The crowd booing Sorensen. 2 balls, no strikes. The plate umpire, Dave Pallone.
Apparently there's a light on a camera or something, Harry, that Pallone wants to shut off.
2 balls, no strikes.
It's got to be tough for Sorensen to get the ball over in this situation because he's got to be more nervous than Pete.
Now ready. Here's the pitch. Strike call, the fastball. And Pete was taking it. 2 balls and a strike. His team is 1 run behind. This could be it. Here it is. Woo! He had a good rip, and he fouled it back. And it's even up at 2-2. Boy, that pitch was right there. He just fouled it. This crowd is all with him. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Listen to him. Here it is. Ground ball right to the shortstop. Dunston has it. Fires to first for the out. So he gave him the shot here in Chicago. He hit that ball hard, but right at Dunston. One away.
The big thing was, Harry, that he went for it.
Yep.
He had 2 hits. He could have taken it back to Cincinnati by looking at a couple of pitches, but he went for it. Hit the ball right on the nose, but hit it right at Dunston, and he might have a shot for 1 more at bat.
And nobody could fault him if he decided to save it for Cincinnati now. The only thing his team trails only by a run. That ball was hit sharply right at Dunston. And now there's Pete Rose behind that post. 1 out. Here's Dave Parker. Fouls the pitch back and out of play. 1 strike and nothing. Houston upset Miami. By the score of 26-23. Bob Irsay's Colts was really shellacked. Pittsburgh beat them 45-3. 0-1 the count. There you see Pete Rose. George Sherringer to his left. Ray, nice stop by Sorensen. He stabbed a hot smash. 2 men are gone. Here's Osaski. 2 out, nobody on. Cubs lead 5-4. Boy, oh boy, the Yankees are leading Oakland 7-2 at the end of 2. Toronto is winning its ball game easily also. Here's a pitch swung on. Fouled out of play. Thought you told me how well he was swinging the bat.
He's had a tough day. Well, like you said, if you swing the bat in batting practice real well, maybe the pitchers will get to you.
0-1 the count. Here's the pitch. Swung and he missed. 0-2. We're in the 7th. Cubs lead 5-4. There's a pitch into the dirt. The Bears won their ball game from Tampa, which gave them a scare, led 21-7 early, but the Bears ran all over them in the second half. 38-28 the final. Here's the pitch. Bouncing ball, foul. 2 men are on, nobody on. We're in the 7th. The Mets play in Los Angeles later on. 2 men are out, nobody on. Osaski waiting. The pitch. Struck him out swinging. 1, 2, 3. Nothing across. We go now into the bottom half of the 7th inning. The score, the Cubs 5, Cincinnati 3. The reason the crowd is cheering so, they know that Rose is the 4th man due up in this inning. Now Oster has dropped a single to left. Let's see who the hitter's going to be.
Max Venable, Harry.
Venable, who used to be with the Giants. Max Venable, left-hand hitter with good speed.
Venable hitting .294, 10 for 23 with no home runs and 3 RBIs as a pinch hitter. So he's had very good luck in the pinch hitting department.
Here's Lee Smith getting ready. Now the pitch. Fastball low. 1 ball, no strikes. Eddie Milner on deck.
Both Venable and Eddie Milner have good speed. They're tough men to double up.
The Mets are leading 3-1. Dodgers batting in the bottom of the 8th. Fastball a little bit outside. Ball 2. 2 balls, no strikes. This is going to be an interesting situation. What if he walks Venable? Milner sacrifices. First base would be open. Would the Cubs walk Rose? There's the strike call.
I don't believe you can walk him to get to Parker. I think you try to get Rose out and then walk Parker.
2 balls and a strike. If your ego was great enough and you didn't want him to break the record against your team, you would. 2 balls and a strike. There's Pete Rose. High pop foul out of play. 2 balls, 2 strikes. The Mets are leading 3-1. Dodgers batting in the bottom of the 8th. Venable with the count evened up. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Boy, it is dark. A little tap foul. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Philadelphia has a 9-6 lead over the Padres out in San Diego. A big game for Cincinnati, too.
Dave Parker kidding with Pete Rose. I think they're probably talking about the intentional walk situation.
2 balls, 2 strikes. Throw over to first, the runner back.
He probably said, you think they're going to walk you to get to me? They might be sending Oster in this situation, thinking about any kind of contact by Venable. Will stay out of the double play.
2 balls, 2 strikes. He holds. There's a ground ball up the middle. Nice play by Dunson to throw. Save! He beat it. An infield hit. Runners at first and second. Nobody out. And here's Eddie Milner. So Rose is sure to come up again. The only thing that would prevent it would be a triple play. Royster homered for the Padres. The Phillies are leading 9-7 in the bottom of the 9th. Here's Lake going out to talk. With the Dodgers losing, the Reds could move within 7.5.
Harry Milner's got a bunt in this situation. There's no doubt about it. He's got to get the bunt down.
Milner's 1 out of 4. Now Lee Smith is ready. He pops the bunt up in the air, out of play. Strike 1. Smitty, a tough man to bunt because he throws that good fastball. And when he keeps it high, it's difficult to bunt it. Not difficult to hit it, but difficult to bunt it.
Last couple days, it hasn't been difficult to hit at all. Grand slam homer yesterday, and he hasn't gotten anybody out here today.
Runners at first and second. Milner waits. And Smitty backs off the rubber. One strike to nothing. Spire playing a shallow third base. High fastball. A ball and a strike. Remember, it's against Lee Smith that Pete Rose hit that immaculate deflection last year. A line drive that hit Smith on his shoulder with runners at first and third. Caromed in the air to the shortstop, Dave Owen. who fired to first for a double play that ended the game.
Fans are booing Chris Spire because he's gone in to talk to Lee. They want Rose to get up there, and it's getting darker and raining a little harder here.
They want the Cubs to win, but they want Rose to break the record here. He bunts foul. 1-2 the count. And now let's see. Milner, a pretty good hitter. I doubt if he'll try to bunt on in a 1-2 situation where a foul ball would result in a strikeout. One and two the count. Pete Rose on deck. Smitty's pitch. Fouled it back, had a good cut. And a slider was up there. Smitty taking his sweet time.
One thing you can say about him, he doesn't rush into anything.
There's Eddie Milner. The rubber game of the series. 1-2 the count. Big pitch coming up. The ground ball, base hit. The tying run is racing to the plate, and he'll score easily. It's tied up 5-5. Here's Pete Rose now. He's looking in the dugout. He's not going to hit. First, he wants to go over to the top. Now he's coming out. Listen to the crowd.
Harry, it's ready-made for him to bunt and get runners to second and third. That way he could get the sacrifice and he could still break it in Cincinnati.
And I'll bet you that's what he's going to do, too.
I'd like to see Chris Spire play right in front of him so he couldn't get the bunt down.
He has always said the game is more important. The victory. Here's the stretch. He's going to bunt, takes it high, ball one. One ball, no strikes. Milner, after failing to sacrifice, singled the center to drive in the run. Here comes Spire in again. Smitty had a tough time yesterday. Just as tough today. The crowd is for Rose. He was going to swing the pitches outside. Boy, you got to give it to him. 2 balls, no strikes. Score tied. Runners at first and second. The pitch. Strike called over the inside corner. 2 balls and a strike. Dave Parker on deck. Venable, the runner at second base. Milner at first. 2 balls and a strike. High pop foul out of play.
He let it all go. He was going for it.
2-2 the count. There's young Petey. He's more nervous than his father. Listen to this crowd. We're not in Cincinnati, we're in Chicago. 2 balls, 2 strikes. The pitch to Rose. Struck him out swinging. Rose goes down swinging. It will wait for another day. Now Parker Parker coming up. Pete walks all the way down. Stops. There he is. Doesn't seem too upset about it. Here is Dave Parker. He hit a grand slam off Lee Smith yesterday.
During batting practice before the game last night, Pete Rose said he concentrated on hitting the ball hard. This time, he didn't want to disappoint the 47,000 hometown fans who crowded into Cincinnati's Riverfront Stadium to see him break Ty Cobb's record. Rose came to bat in the first inning. The pitcher was Eric Shaw of the San Diego Padres. The count was 2 balls and 1 strike. Everyone in the stadium was standing for this electrifying moment in baseball history.
2-1 pitch from Shaw into left center. There it is. Rose has eclipsed Cobb. That's number 4,192.
At first, Rose was mobbed by his teammates, while pitcher Shaw pondered his dubious role in this historic event. The spontaneous celebration continued uninterrupted for 7 minutes. Rose said this was the first time he was ever on a baseball field and didn't know what to do.
I felt like a man looking for a hole to jump into. I was doing all right until I sort of looked up and I started thinking about my father.
Rose greatly admired his father, who died in 1970. The Cincinnati Slugger was joined by his son Pete for this emotional moment. There was a congratulatory telephone call from President Reagan.
You've really given a lift to the whole country.
Thank you very much. Thank you. I really appreciate it.
But this night, Pete Rose gave the biggest lift to the fans in Cincinnati. He got another hit after the record breaker, scored both runs in a 2-0 victory, and helped make the last put out of the game with a spectacular play. Rose said his biggest night in baseball couldn't have been scripted any better. Jim Cummins, NBC News, Cincinnati.
Pete Rose, now baseball's greatest hit collector, joins us from our affiliate in Cincinnati, WLWT-TV. Good morning, Pete. What's new?
Not too much, Brian. Not too much sleep last night, but it was all worth it. How you doing?
I'm fine, thank you. Congratulations.
How's your Cubs doing?
They're hurting, Pete. They're hurting. The injury bug put a bigger hit on the Cubs staff than even you have over the years.
Well, we caused a little excitement over in Chicago the other day when they switched pitchers on us on Sunday and took Trout out of there and put Patterson in there, and I wasn't scheduled to play, and lo and behold, I almost got the go-ahead hit in Wrigley Field.
These things happen. Hey, the enormity of it all, has it hit you yet? I mean, do you think it's completely sunken in?
Well, it had until until I was standing on first base last night, Brian, and I guess you had to be there. I wish I was smart enough to come up with the right words to describe the reaction from the people, and it just was enormous. And I've been around a lot of ovations for different players and different situations, but none quite like that. And I just don't, like Garvey looked at me and says, I never sort of seen anything or heard anything like this. And, you know the one when he hit the home run against your Cubbies last year in that playoff game to put him into the World Series, it had to be quite an ovation. And he said this was, that was a second to this one.
Pete, I cry at Lassie reruns, but I understand that you don't often. Were you surprised to cry last night?
Well, the ovation went so long, Brian, it was the first time I was ever between the lines on a baseball field, and I didn't know what to do. And all of a sudden, I just run out of things to think about, I guess, and I started thinking about my father, who was my biggest inspiration and the guy who really made me what I am today, and I just crumbled under that.
Was it a relief to you that the hit was a clean one and not a scorer's decision, or did you care?
Well, I didn't really care, but I didn't want to put any pressure on any official score because, they got a job to do, and hopefully it was going to be a clean base hit, and hopefully it was going to be a game-winning hit, and we did win the game 2-0 last night, and I did score both runs, but neither one of the runs was scored as a result of the hit I got in the first inning, so it's just one of those games, and it was just a good ball game to win, and I think the 50,000 people who were there got to see the hit. They got to see the hometown team win, and they saw a great pitching performance, a great defensive game from Eddie Milner, and it just was an all-around good ball game.
I know how much you enjoy the camaraderie of people you respect. How special was it to have Doggy and Davey there to lift you up?
Well, we've been through so much together, and that was unexpected too. See, you don't know what to expect in something like that. So
let me let everybody in on this. That's Tony Perez and Davey Concepcion.
Yes, and what that tells me, Brian, is their emotions was showing, because they have been a part of me for so many years, and I've been a part of them, and it was great to be lifted up by those two fellas, because they both are tremendous ball players, and they've both had tremendous careers, and we've been through a lot of wars together, and last night was just another battle that we won.
Could you have stood much more of this? I mean, all the attention and the microscope and everybody following you around?
Well, you know, Jimmy Ferguson, our public relations director, really handled it in the right way, and I think we learned from the hitting streak in 1978, and what I mean by that is I didn't do too many one-on-one interviews, Brian. We had a room set up before the game and after the game, and we cooperated with the press the best we could, and I think they really appreciated that, and it made it a lot easier for me. And you know, it's never been a problem as far as cooperating with the press for me, because I understand you people in the media have a job to do, and hey, you people have been nothing but nice to me.
Well, you've always been terrific. I mean, but there's a certain point when it becomes a little much.
You know, I have the utmost respect for the media because of the way they treated me, and I learned a long time ago that cooperation can go a long way.
Yeah. Let me show the last out of the game, because I've got to ask you, for you personally, which was better, the hit or the final play of the game?
Well, I guess the final play of the game, because that put victory in the column and put a W down for us. And I was playing on the line to keep Steve from hitting the ball a double, because he's a tie and run, and he just hit the ball sort of into the bat, and I just dove for it. And you know, right before that, he fouled the ball off. It looked like it was going to be an easy pop-up out, and the wind blew it back into the photographer's area, and I couldn't catch it. So I guess I just was supposed to make a good play to end the ball game.
Knowing what you do of what Ty Cobb was like, I mean, we all know he wasn't a sweetheart. What might he think of what you've done?
Oh, I think he probably disliked the fact that I broke his record, but he liked the way I play the game, because from what I'm told from different people, that we approached the game in the same manner. We hated to lose. We were fierce competitors. I didn't sharpen my spikes, though, because I wear turf shoes. But I think another similarity we both had was probably the result of me breaking up last night. Is both of us, they had real strong relationships with our father.
Let me leave this with you with two compliments. As great as the chase has been, it has overshadowed some credit you richly deserve as a manager. Your team finished last year. You got them in second place right now. You're to be congratulated for that. And on the career side of it, on behalf of a lot of baseball fans, Pete, thank you.
Well,
thanks for a lot.
Thank you, Brian. It's nice to hear, because I know you know a lot about baseball, and I owe everything, you know, as far as being a manager to my players, because they've cooperated with me this year, and they just do everything I ask them to do. And you know, when you got a guy like Dave Parker having the type of year he's having, of course Ronnie Oster and Johnny Franco and Ted Power, I owe it to my players. You're only as good as your players, and my players are good.
Yeah, so's their first baseman. See you, buddy. Congratulations.
Okay.
Get some rest. We'll take a break. This is Today on NBC.